Audie Murphy was America's golden boy, a symbol of courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. He survived some of the bloodiest battles of World War II. He conquered Hollywood. He became a national icon. And yet, the way his life ended doesn't make sense. For decades, we were told it was a tragic accident, a routine flight gone wrong. But new evidence paints a far darker picture. Because when you dig deeper into Audie Murphy's death, the story that emerges is not about a hero lost to fate. It's about a man who might have been silenced by the very powers he once fought to defend. June 20th, 1925, Kingston, Texas. A frail boy named Audie Leon Murphy was born into poverty. He was the seventh of 12 children, raised by sharecroppers who could barely feed them. The Great Depression wasn't just history to him, it was survival. When his father abandoned the family and his mother died when he was just 16, Audie became an orphan in a world that had already forgotten him. With only a 5th grade education, he did whatever he could to keep his younger siblings alive, picking cotton, working odd jobs, and learning early that life only rewards those who refuse to quit. That same toughness, that quiet fire, would one day make him a legend. Rejected by both the Navy and the Marines for being too small, Audie's story could have ended there. But the U.S. Army took a chance on the skinny Texas boy. At just 5 feet 5 inches and barely 110 pounds, no one expected him to become a soldier, let alone a hero. But that's exactly what he became. June 20th, 1925, Kingston, Texas. A frail boy named Audie Leon Murphy was born into poverty. He was the 7th of 12 children, raised by sharecroppers who could barely feed them. The Great Depression wasn't just history to him, it was survival. When his father abandoned the family and his mother died when he was just 16, Audie became an orphan in a world that had already forgotten him. With only a 5th grade education, he did whatever he could to keep his younger siblings alive, picking cotton, working odd jobs, and learning early that life only rewards those who refuse to quit. That same toughness, that quiet fire, would one day make him a legend. Rejected by both the Navy and the Marines for being too small, Audie's story could have ended there. But the U.S. Army took a chance on the skinny Texas boy. At just 5 feet 5 inches and barely 110 pounds, no one expected him to become a soldier, let alone a hero. But that's exactly what he became. When Murphy returned home, the parades were waiting, the interviews, the smiles, the cameras, but inside something had changed. He suffered from what was then called battle fatigue, what we now know as post-traumatic stress disorder. He couldn't sleep, he avoided crowds, he kept a gun under his pillow every night. For the first time, America's hero admitted that courage on the battlefield doesn't protect you from the war in your head. Still, he refused to be defeated. He used his fame to speak for veterans, demanding mental health support long before anyone else dared to. That same honesty, that refusal to hide pain behind medals, made him even more respected, but it also made him visible to the wrong people. In the late 1940s, Hollywood came calling. They wanted the war hero who looked like a movie star and spoke like an ordinary man. Murphy accepted, not for fame, but for money to support his family. His first films were modest hits, but in 1955, To Hell and Back changed everything. It was based on his own memoir, and Murphy, in a move that stunned audiences, played himself. He relived the trauma, the screams, and the blood for the camera. The film shattered box office records. From there, he became a fixture of the silver screen. Over 40 films, most of them westerns and war dramas. He was quiet, humble, never arrogant, but behind that calm surface, the same old nightmares kept burning. And in Hollywood, pain attracts attention, sometimes from dangerous places. Off-screen, Murphy's life was far less glamorous. He married actress Wanda Hendricks in 1949, but the union fell apart within 2 years. Her description of his temper, paranoia, and sleepless nights painted a picture of a man haunted by ghosts no one else could see. Just 4 days after their divorce, he remarried, this time to Pamela Archer, a calm, grounded woman who became his anchor. Together, they had 2 sons. For a while, life seemed stable. He found joy in family and even tried his hand at songwriting. But old demons don't disappear. Murphy struggled with chronic pain, anxiety, and financial troubles, and yet he still worked relentlessly, acting, producing, even traveling abroad to film Trunk to Cairo in 1966. But the 1960s weren't kind to heroes. The world was changing. Hollywood's golden age was fading, and somewhere along the line, Murphy got involved with people who saw him not as a man, but as a tool. May 28, 1971, Murphy boarded a twin-engine Aero Commander for what should have been a short business trip from Atlanta to Virginia. The weather was bad, fog, rain, low clouds. Hours later, the plane crashed into Brush Mountain, killing everyone on board. The official report blamed pilot error and poor visibility. Simple, tragic, case closed. But it wasn't that simple. Something about the crash didn't add up. Why did the plane fly so low into mountainous terrain? Why were parts of the wreckage missing when investigators arrived? And why did certain witnesses' statements vanish from the public record? For years, no one dared to ask. After all, who would question the death of a hero? But the more time passed, the darker the story became. For decades, the official version stood unchallenged, until a team of independent investigators revisited the crash with modern tools and newly declassified documents. They examined old wreckage fragments, reanalyzed weather data, and interviewed witnesses who'd stayed silent for years. What they found was disturbing. Sections of the plane's control system showed signs of tampering, wires cut and rerouted in ways consistent with sabotage. It wasn't pilot error, it was interference. And then came the whistleblower, a retired intelligence officer who claimed Murphy had accidentally uncovered details of covert U.S. operations connected to drug trafficking and secret arms transfers during the 1960s. The whistleblower said Murphy planned to speak publicly and that he was warned to stay quiet for his own safety. Weeks later, he was dead. Whether the story is entirely true or not, one fact remains. Too many details about the crash were erased, too many questions ignored, and too many voices silenced. Audie Murphy gave everything to his country, his youth, his peace of mind, his sanity. And yet, if this evidence is to be believed, that same country may have betrayed him. His death, officially a tragedy, now looks more like a message, a warning. His family spent decades seeking answers, only to face closed doors and missing files. Historians began to ask, why was the investigation rushed? Why was debris removed before proper documentation? And why, out of all the passengers, was Murphy's background the only one examined by federal intelligence afterward? For a man celebrated as the embodiment of American courage, it's ironic and haunting that the truth about his final moments remains hidden behind redacted pages. Today, Audie Murphy's name still stands for bravery. Schools, highways, and military bases bear his name. But behind every tribute lies the weight of an unresolved mystery. If the evidence of sabotage is true, then his death wasn't just a tragedy. It was a betrayal of everything he stood for. He survived bullets, explosions, and the horrors of war, only to be taken down by silence and secrets. The official story might never change, but for those who've looked deeper, it's impossible to see his legacy the same way again, because sometimes heroes don't fall on the battlefield. They're buried under the truth no one wants to tell. Audie Murphy's life began in poverty and ended in mystery. He fought through everything life could throw at him: hunger, war, trauma, and still came out a hero. But in the end, it wasn't bullets or bombs that took him. It was something colder, something deliberate, something hidden behind closed doors and sealed reports. The mystery of his death may never be fully solved. But what's clear is this: even the greatest hero can become a threat to the wrong people. And sometimes those who live by courage die by silence, because the truth about Audie Murphy, America's bravest soldier, isn't what you've been told. And it definitely isn't good.